Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. We've had so much fun sharing so many different stories, so many amazing announcements. And today I'm excited to announce that we have another incredible partner joining the Integrity family. And we cannot be more excited than being joined today by R.D. Roulston from MediSource Insurance from Little Rock, Arkansas. R.D., thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're so excited for just the opportunity to partner with you, and what you're doing in Little Rock and the surrounding areas at MediSource has been truly incredible what you guys have built. You really specialize in the Medicare market, and I love the name MediSource. We were just talking about that. I think naming a company might be harder than naming a kid because, you know, with the kid, there can be two Brians, there can be two RDs, but how did you name MediSource? And tell us more about what you guys do.
Well, we originally just, was the Roulston Insurance Agency, so we were trying to define our agency that we were participating in the medical field, and that, so we bounced back a lot of different names, got a lot of different opinions, and I can't remember exactly who come up with the MediSource name, but that made sense to us.
Man, I love that name.
Yeah,
it's just such a great name in so many ways. I think there's power in a name. We spent so much time talking about integrity and really why we're called Integrity. But I love the name MediSource, and insurance is such a broad market. There's so many different parts of insurance that being able to narrow that down like you did is a really smart thing. And I just love the name MediSource. You guys focus primarily on the Medicare market in Arkansas and the surrounding states. How did you get into the insurance business?
Originally, just had some friends that was in the business, and they were after me. I was a golf instructor, had done that for quite a few years, and they stayed after me, and I kept seeing all these guys in the insurance business playing lots of golf and loving life, and I'm like, there's got to be something to this insurance business.
That was the other insurance business. That was all the property and casualty guys.
Right.
The life and health guys, they don't have time to play golf.
That's right.
So you were a golf pro.
I was a golf pro, a teaching pro.
Teaching pro. How long were you doing that?
15 years.
Man.
Yeah.
So what was your lowest handicap?
At times I could play to a scratch golfer, but most of the time I was working. If the weather was pretty or the weekend, I was giving lessons.
Wow.
So it didn't allow a whole lot of time to play a lot.
Yeah, you were telling people what to do. You
exactly.
weren't actually getting to do it. What took you into that field? How did you get into that?
As a young kid, I did not grow up in a golfing family, but I had some neighbors that had some kids and they played some. And of course, we were doing basketball, baseball, football, whatever was in season back then. You just kind of played all of it. And so I started going with them a little bit in the summertime and just kind of took to it and just had that, really liked it, and hit enough good shots that I like this. This is pretty fun. And it was just something totally new to me. So the year I graduated high school, I started taking some lessons from a gentleman there in Little Rock. So I kind of got hooked on it.
Wow. What do you think's the key to a really good golf swing?
It's really just starting out with the basic fundamentals, just as simple as having a great grip and the proper stance. And if you can get all that down, you can have some awkward moving parts and still be a pretty good player. That's evident on the PGA and LPGA tour that there's a lot of different swings, but they all kind of do 4 or 5 basic fundamentals, that core principles that you got to have, and that's what makes you consistent. I mean, you can hit a good shot. It's the consistency of it that makes you a good golfer.
Man, I'm not a golfer. I never grew up in a golf family. Where I grew up in a small town, I don't know, you'd had to drive 30 miles to get to the nearest golf course or something.
Right.
But I've always liked things around golf. I like going to golf tournaments. I entertain on golf courses a lot where we take people to play with Steve Young and other events where I love serving drinks and holding the flagstick. But I was just never really good at playing golf. And I think it's interesting that you bring up the fact that it comes back to fundamentals, right?
Right.
Because if you don't learn those fundamentals, if you're not focused on the fundamentals, those 4 or 5 principles you just talked about, then you're not going to be good at it, right?
Right.
And so that's an interesting point, because one thing about golf, and I think golf relates to life in so many ways. If you're not focused on the right things, you're going to struggle. And that's where, for me, one of the reasons that I'm not a big golfer is because I didn't really get those fundamentals down, right? And so as you think about how that translates to business, you've got to have some fundamentals down. You got to have those core principles down. You got to get back to basics, right? I'm sure, one of my favorite movies ever, I think, is Tin Cup.
Sure.
Where it's,
That's a classic.
Where, they're teaching him, and, when he gets the yips, and they're like, put the tea behind your ear, put your change in the other pocket. Yeah. But it's really about getting back to basics, right? And that's where, I think we can all complicate business. Certainly this business sometimes. You can overthink things, but it's really about how do you get back to basics? How do you recruit more agents? How do you serve agents more? How do you help serve more clients? And if you can really focus on the fundamentals, in this business, you can be super successful like you have and I have. And you don't have to be the most talented guy in the world.
Right.
You just got to know how to work on the fundamentals, right?
Right.
And that's where I think there's just such an interesting correlation to golf in our business in so many ways as well. Yeah. The other part, we use this a lot here at Integrity, is you got to stay in the fairway. In golf, man, if you get in the rough, I played at Torrey Pines one time, and I got, I'm like spraying it everywhere, and I get out in the rough. Well, the rough there, the fairway is like a green. If you get in the rough, it's about 4 inches,
very punishing.
Very punishing, and then you're just hacking it out of there. But that's part of what we've even talked about is like stay in our fairway, stay in your lane. Right. And if you can stay on the fairway and it doesn't matter how long you hit the ball sometimes. It's just about how straight you can hit it. And that's where I think sometimes people are always looking for the home run or for that long shot, but you don't really have to do that. What did teaching golf and all those fundamentals, how did that help you translate into helping agents and growing your business?
When you first start learning golf, in our society nowadays, everybody wants to learn it overnight. So you're not going to build an agency overnight or have a big book of business overnight. And so it's trying to get that person to understand, hey, I'm concerned about where I'm going to be 3 years from now. Yeah. Not just today, but those same core principles that you can use in business to keep you consistent, and the people that's in this business for a long period of time obviously have those principles. You have to have them to stay in the business. Yep. You see people come and go, and they never really can take it to that next level, and that's the consistency of it, doing it the right way. Might not be as fast as you want it to be there, but you're in the right position. And so when you do have those opportunities, it pans out for you and works out.
I think you bring up something so important, and on TV all the time, you can get this grip, technique. You can get this mat that you can see where your club swing. All those are probably very helpful. Don't get me wrong, but most of us want to buy that and then be like ready to go play on the PGA Tour, and that's not how life is.
That's right.
In fact, I was meeting with somebody earlier, and I was walking around our office, and she said, "It's amazing how fast you've grown this business, and you've done it overnight." Mm-hmm. And I said, "I've been doing this for 20 years."
That's right.
What are you talking about overnight? It didn't feel like overnight when I was in my house working out of what's now my son's bedroom, or all the different plane rides and all the different things. But I thank God for the fact that I didn't have that early success. It wasn't an overnight success, because then I don't think you appreciate it. I think that there's, people look at these pro golfers that are on the tour. Man, those guys have been doing it their entire life. They practice every single day. And the other part I love about this is that a lot of people feel like they've arrived and they're like, okay, I'm successful. And they stop working on the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. But what's amazing is all of those golfers that are the big names on the PGA right now, every one of them have coaches, sometimes more than one coach.
Exactly.
They're focusing on their nutrition. They're focusing on their mental capabilities. And they're out there, they're practicing, and they've got a golf instructor still working with them. Mm-hmm. I would assume some of the best golfers that you've ever worked with they were dying for more instruction. They were like, give me more lessons. Like it wasn't just the weekend hackers like me. It was guys and gals who were really good and they wanted to get even better. Is
Right.
that what you saw as well?
Yeah, absolutely. They're always, looking to get better, but sometimes, you can't hit it for them. I mean, it's a mental part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that you can only hit the ball so far, so straight.
Yeah.
And then there's the other variables from different aspects of the putting, and all that plays into it. But
And there's so many different layers. I think you could tie business philosophy into this, but I think it's also life philosophy of just being able to continue working. And that's where, as you're now a partner at Integrity, a lot of people feel like, man, I've arrived. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to tell every one of our partners who've heard this, this is just the beginning. I feel like we're just getting started.
Sure.
And I feel like if we can continue to get better every day, if we can do just a little bit more. I had a podcast recently with one of my partners who was like, just think if we just did one more of, one more call, one more appointment, just think about what the cumulative effect of what that would be. And frankly, how that even serves the entire American population with how much more we would take care of them with their life, health, and wealth needs if you just do a little bit more and continually look for ways that you can get better. Because that's what the best of the best do in everything they do. They didn't do it just to say, I made the PGA.
Right.
And they did it to win the championship. Right. And
they
want
the trophy.
They want the trophy, and
they
want it all. Tiger Woods is, one thing that amazes me is that guy. I mean, he's had setback after setback. He almost lost his leg, and now he's back. I mean, think about the grind it takes, even when you have that type of setback, to be playing essentially on one leg at that level.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Nobody works harder.
Isn't that crazy?
Than he has.
But he doesn't need to. He's got everything in the world. He's won all the trophies. He can do whatever he wants. But he still wants more, because it's more about how am I? He's already the best, and arguably, how do I make sure I'm always the best? I'm extending that lead, and that's one of the things I see as a common thread of Integrity partners that have joined us. You've already been successful. You've already had a lot of success. You've accomplished a lot of your goals, but now it's like, how do we take it to the next level?
Right.
And that's what I'm excited about, on how we even come together and look for ways that we can all get better and learn from each other, share best ideas, best practices, best ways that we can find synergies and look for ways to grow even faster. I also understand you don't golf anymore.
I do not.
So how long has it been since you golfed?
11 years.
Wow.
I've not
What happened? Why did you stop?
Part of it was just the time in the day, and I'm an avid fisherman, avid hunter, and had to pick and choose, and I had to do with what I thought would just to get a getaway, most relaxing to me, and so I chose to kind of actively pursue fishing more and hunting more, and so I still keep up with golf and still around it, and still talk about it and watch a little bit of it on TV, so I kind of know what's going on with it. I just don't play anymore. My son is starting to play, so I'm working with him a little bit. So
that's
so,
awesome.
Yeah,
that has to be fun.
Yeah.
So listen, the fishing aspect. What drew you to fishing? What do you like the most about fishing?
Yeah, that is one of the things I can do that, for whatever reason, when I get out there on that boat, get on the water, my mind goes blank. I mean, completely, I am focused on figuring out the fishing, and so that few hours of that day, that's worth every penny to have that.
So I've never been with a real serious fisherman. I was wanting to shoot this podcast on a fishing boat. In fact, as part of our deal, you sponsor a pro fisherman. And as part of that, we actually wrapped an Integrity bass boat, and part of on the pro fishing tour is it
he's on the Bassmaster Elite Series, which is the very top circuit.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
I never thought we would have that. I got a picture of this after we closed our deal. I was like, I didn't expect that, but that looks amazing. I can't wait to see it, and I hope he wins it all. But the thing about fishing's such an interesting thing to me. I'm not much of a hunter.
Right.
Hunting is you're kind of stalking, and you got to kill something, right? But fishing, man, I love fishing. In fact, me and my boys and my wife, we got a little pond. We got it stocked with bass, and there's something amazing about it. The reason I love fishing is that you've got to attract things. You're making it where you're creating something like a lure that is making it so attractive that they want to have it. And then I also love the fact that you can release them, right? You can catch them
Exactly.
and release. And there's so much truth to that, I think, in business, certainly in integrity. There are businesses out there that are hunters. They go out and look to kill.
Right.
Here at Integrity, our goal is to make this the most attractive platform for businesses to succeed, to where you are wanting to help them come in and help them, just like your business, take it to the next level.
Right.
And you want to create such a platform that is just so attractive in every element that there's no reason somebody wouldn't want to be part of it. And then you want to let them go, and you want to get them on the platform, and then you want to set them free to go. Let's go take over together in so many ways. And that's where I love the analogy of bass fishing. And when I saw that boat, I was like, man, that is it, because that's what we're trying to do here at Integrity is we want everybody to get on the boat. We want everybody to be part of this, and we want to make it so attractive that people want in. Right. Just like fishing. Is that like when you're going out? I mean, when you're fishing, you got to look for what's the structure, where fish going to be. Tell us more about that.
What species am I fishing for? What time of year it is? What's the water temperature?
Yeah.
You know,
what's the lure that you got to make it where
what
they
stage
want
are they spawning? Yeah. Are they feeding that? Are they eating? What bait are they feeding on? And so a lot of variables there to put it all together to figure out that. So that's part of the intrigue, is the challenge of it, is to figuring that out. And when you do, you can tell when you put it all together, it happens.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here at Integrity. And that's why we're so excited about you being here, is putting it all together, really starting to bring all these pieces of the puzzle together and be able to take it to the next level in so many ways.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for joining us, RD. It's an honor to have you as our newest partner. And I can't wait to see where we go from here, because we've got such an incredible opportunity ahead to serve more people and to make it more attractive long-term as well. So thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
God
bless you, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining today's Inspire podcast. I hope you're as inspired as I am about the golf analogies and the fishing analogies, and really this opportunity to partner with MediSource and just the entire family there, and just the opportunity we have to serve more people. Hope you all have a great week. God bless you all, and take care.